All right, so your son was given a kit that has 4 wheels and 4 nails. That's a block of wood. And it has Ranger Derby written on it. You're going, what in the world am I supposed to do with this thing? So you open the thing up, and you open that thing up, and there's a block of wood in there. And you look at it, and it's a square block. It's 1.25 inches from this side to this side, 7 inches from here to here in length, and then the top surface is 1.75 inches from here to here. And so you're thinking, well, okay, so we'll just draw a line on here, in shape of a car, and cut it out in a 2D model, and do some sanding on it, a little paint on it, and you get a 2D car. Well, that's cool, and I have built literally thousands of those, or helped with over 1,000 cars doing it that way. And I've had the CNC for several years anyway. I'm getting into 3D modeling, and I'm trying to figure out a good way of doing it. And anyway, so that's the block of wood. And then after you get done figuring out how to do that, you try and you get an image of a car. And in this case, I took an image of this truck here, and I spent many hours going around it, taking pictures from different directions and trying to import that into a 3D modeling software, thinking that I might be able to import that and have it carve that. Well, that science is not there yet. It's I imagine if you're really a guru in Blender, you could probably get something close to it. But my results with taking pictures of that, going around it, I spent 20, 30 hours trying to take it different, shots and different ways. And the model would look good in the scan, but when you try to get it to a point where you put it into the 3D modeling software, it just would not. It was just a bloggy, looked like a growth, and just did not work good. It just didn't do a very good job of getting the mesh on there. Anyway, a lot of detail there, just that, trying to get it there. So anyway, so I spent quite a few hours trying to get that. Now, this is a Mustang that I've come up with, and trying to get this to turn into this was, it took me several hours, 20 hours of messing with it to get this format here to come through. And what I was having to deal with was a block of wood. This is right here, and I built a jig that this sets down in. And first thing it would do is it would carve the side profile. And if you looked at the side profile of this car, it barely fits in the 1.75 inches because it's a low profile car. The truck is a little bit different. If you did the truck, it requires more headroom because it's a higher profile. But anyway, in this case, that's setting was that. And then your flat was, you're sitting there looking at it going, well, how can I get the dimensions out of that? Well, you take 2 of these blocks, you put them in your CNC machine, and it carves the profile like this out of the top of that. And you do a right and a left. So one's the passenger side like this, and it's cutting that out. And over here on this side is the driver's side, and it cuts that out. Then you pull the 2 blocks of wood out, and you put them together like this. And when you put them together, you sandwich them together like that, and it comes out to just about the right thickness as far as where the wheels will go in and let it run down the track. And this is, that way. And then once you get those 2 sides together, it's all blocked up, and it has stuff in here that's carved, the sides out, but the top is still pretty square. And you put this down in another jig situation, and I marked around the block 7 inches by, I think, 2.5 inches of what this width was. And that would be a little bit variable depending on the scale of your truck. But anyway, and then I built a centering jig that went around this in all 4 directions. So when I use blue tape, and then I put my blue tape down on my CNC bed, and then I put blue tape on the bottom of my block, and I put blue tape on the bottom of my little 1x blocks that went around it for centering it. And because that was the problem, is I'd had milled some of this, and some of this, the corner wasn't here to get my Z. So I built a deal that built off of the hinge, this right here. So because when the car first gets molded, you still have a little bit left on the corners. Anyway, so I was able to use those little squares of wood to get my Z corner and get my X, Y, and Z labeled up. And then, of course, your car is tilted to the front, to the right, and then it mills the car out. So then this mills this last. So you've got three operations that's going around and going into that part. And this hasn't been sanded. This car has been created with my grandson in mind. He's 9 years old, and he stayed the weekend with me, and we put this thing together. And he saw me programming it, and then we loaded the block of wood up with CNC from the kit, and had it carve one. We had it carve another one, and then we then took the first time we didn't have this top part in, and it was just the side view. So that much of the car wasn't there on the car, just this side. So then we glued another piece of wood on top of that, and then I had it carve that. Well, then I thought, okay, well, I want to use this block of wood for, this intended purpose. So then I just realized I was going to use two of them and glue that up instead of just adding, one piece on top of that, which I could have done that as well. But when it's in the jig and one side's already carved up, it's hard to get it to be straight on edge like this, and you're trying to carve it. It's just not, square. So you want to be able to put the square edge in your jig to hold it. So that's why I'm using the two pieces. Another way of doing this is you can use one that's a little taller and then just cut it down the middle and get the two pieces to come together. So anyway, that's where we did. And we're going to get into the software and show you how I set it up to do that now. Okay, I went out on a website called www.thingiverse.com, and this website has all kinds of 3D models. I have probably printed 40, 50 different models on there. You just basically do a search for what you're looking for. And in this case, I went for a Camaro car. My grandson had brought in one of his Matchbox cars, and this was probably the closest view of it. And, it's pretty cool. But anyway, these are models that people have turned in and modeled. Some of them are adults, some of them are boys, some of them are girls, some of them are whatever. But anyway, I went through there and I looked at several different models, and then I thought, okay, let's look at this one here. It actually says it's a Pinewood Derby car. So I thought, well, that might save me some time because generally the wheels are a little modified a little bit differently. And it has, the little blocks of wood in there. And I thought, well, that's not too bad. And we'll see what we can do with that. Well, this is just a model. It doesn't give you all of the cuttings and all the tools for that. So anyway, basically I just downloaded the file, and you click on that and you click download, and it takes this file and it downloads it. So let's go over to the file that's been downloaded. You do a save as, and you get over there, and it puts it over there into your deal. All right, so the next thing you want to do is load up Aspire. And Aspire is a 3D modeling software that's basically built to model and design 3D and 2D, anything that you put on a CNC. It's basically going to do that. And the name of this file is Camaro Derby Car. And let me go a little bit through here what I've got in here and going with this. The first thing is on my sheets. I set up, my first sheet was the import sheet, and this is where I imported the models. And let me go ahead and make this just a little bit bigger. In the import sheet, when your models, and I found this, that, whenever you're working on it, and it's this sheet right here, it's 10 by 10 by 10 cubed. And then when I would go in and import, I'd go up here to the model, and I would import the 3D model, and it's going to point, this is the file we just downloaded. This is an STL file, and we're going to click open, and there's your car. Remember, on a CNC, the top view is what the CNC is going to be looking down on. The bit will come down straight on top of the car. So whenever you're doing it, this needs to be on top. That's what the CNC is going to look at. But when you're importing your model, you look at it like, okay, that says top, and that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's all working out good. And then there's the front, so that kind of thing. So you got a 3D model of this car from all three different directions. And of course it's hollow on the inside, and that's all cool. And for that milling, I could probably have taken the inside of this and milled this out on the inside. I'm going to click top and then go directly to the bottom, and you can see that this is milled out, and there's holes in there to keep it lighter, and of course it has that. So for the biggest part, I could have probably put this on side and had a bottom view and then told it to mill that out as well. I hadn't got to that point yet. So anyway, what's nice thing about this stuff is once you figure something out, you can reproduce it pretty easily. And but it'll take you hours and hours to get it to that point. So let's go back here to the top view. Double click the bottom and go to the top view. Um, and then let's go down and show some perspective on this. Okay, there's your side view, the top view, and these are different models. Let's go back to top view. So if of course, this doesn't say it's back. That's basically the passenger side. That's upside down. That's right. That's left, which is the back side. And what you do is you get it to rotate it. Let's go plus 90, and you can get a view there. So that would be like your end view of your car, and you would grab that thing. Let's just go ahead and just look at it. There it is there. And when we look at our model, there it is. And, yeah, we like that view. So we'll click that back on top. And you'll notice the size of this model is huge. It's like 177 in size, but we don't really know how big we want it. So we're going to just go ahead and leave it big, and we're going to center the model in the block of wood, and we're going to position and import. And you notice that this put this purple thing up in here. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, and you can see this plane on this car right here. We're wanting the back view. So if we go to front and we back away from it, this will give you that. Let's go to the back view. So that's kind of give you an idea of what you're looking for from your car. Okay. So let's go. Remember, it's always going to be the top view that we're going to be cutting. So this is what we want. I'm going to skew this just a little bit right here, just so that can kind of keep it an idea where it's at. I'm going to just roll my mouse and skew it just a little bit. And we're going to pay attention to this panel right here, this little purple panel. We're going to raise this up because this is the part that we're going to save into the model. And I don't want the whole length of the car. I only really want, let's just say from the fender well, really don't need a whole lot of the car. Okay, let's just see what we got there. And that's about how much we're going to get. So, we probably could grab a little bit more detail if we wanted to. Let's just move it right to the edge of the wheels fenders. And if you want more detail, zoom in. So like that. And you can also go, you can also put a decimal equivalent in it as well. But anyway, so that's the view. I don't want to create both sides. I just want to create that one side. I'm going to put this back on. All right. Put that back on top. So that's how we're going to get that imported in there. So we're going to click import, and it's going to do is it's going to take that file and put it in this block of wood. So we're going to go for 2D view, and there's our deal, and it's huge. We don't really need it that big. So we can resize this for right now, and we could go over here to the transform and set the size as right now it's 70 inches by 46 inches, which we know that it doesn't need to be that way. We're going to go 2.5 inches, and the Z will set that and link them together, and we'll click apply. So there this one is right here, and we'll look at the car. There it is there, and we're going to put that over here in the back end of the motor. And this is a block of wood that I've put in there, and that's that model right in there. So I'm going to take that thing right there, Close this window. I'm going to get rid of that model out of there. I'm going to go back over to the import block, and we're going to move this. Double click into the sheet, grab the model, right click, move to sheet, and we're going to the back end of the car. So it's going to take it off of there and move it over there to the back end. So we just put it back over here. So let's zoom in on this block of wood, and we're going to enable the 3D view. We're going to tile them. So we have this block of wood and it's not showing up right here. So we're going to take this, grab it with the mouse and pray it over here and drop it on the block of wood, and it's going to show up here. Okay, remember the top view is what we're looking at. This is where you could actually get in here and position the car just a little bit, and make it a little bit fit a little bit differently. But anyway, this right here is actually the size of your block. So let's go ahead and just center that in there real quick, and that kind of thing. So when we look at this, we've got this whole model in here, and there's the top. Let's go back here and get this part right here. And the part that we're going to be modeling is actually just the very top part. So that's 1.25 inches, so that the rest of that is just kind of what's left of the video. It's not really going to probably carve that part. And so, there's that. And then here's this thing right here. Let's go ahead and create a tool path for just a finishing ball nose. And it's telling me that our block model is too thick, too wide, too whatever. And so model thickness is 4.23, and the thickness of our block of wood is 1.25 inches. So, that's not going to work out very good there. So what we're going to need to do is change this up a little bit. Click cancel. We're going to go here, and we're just going to move this down to the very bottom of the block of wood. And we can zoom in there to see just how exactly that we need it. And we may want to go at that point there. Anyway, that's at that point. So let's go back here to the top view. And look at that. Okay, so there we are. And our toolpath is over here. I'm going to stick it by sticking that right there. And look at our 3D finish. And there it is there. We're going to run it just to see what she looks like. And preview the selected toolpath. And it's going to go out here and carve this out. And that's what we're going to get out of it. The end of that. And, when you look at this, let's click close for right now. When we look at this preview. Okay. And so basically, at 1.25 inches deep, it was cutting out the mirrors on there, so it was going down 1.25 inches deep in that respect. So there we go. So that's how that imports. And if you want to look at what this looks like, we'll just get rid of that right now, and like that. So that's basically what that looked like for that part of it. And then you go through on your different sheets. You go back here and you import each one of these different parts from basically, like if I go over to the driver's side, and let me go ahead and show that right there. Jump over here to the 2D view, and there's this half of it right here. We're just going to go right there for right now, and go over here to the driver's side. The driver's side is highlighted white, and that's your model that you're looking at. And this is basically, going around, and as you look at it, you've got just half the block and going at it. So that's the driver's side, and then you go into the passenger side, jump over there, I'm just double clicking, and there it is there with that. And again, you're looking at a model that's just half. So I basically took those two models and I just glued them together, and that's what came out. And then of course the last thing I did was the top view. Click over here, and then I'll put this in there with the driver's side to the right, and then it cut out the very top of the car, and it came out real well, and there you go. So that's how I did this with Aspire. I have not used the front end or the back end, and I haven't used the bottom view. I could create a new layout with the bottom view, which should probably be a mirror copy of the top view. And for this particular scale, it was 2.5, and that kind of thing. So anyway, I'm getting draggy. Let me go ahead and close out of this, and then I'll put in the video of cutting the car. All right, this is a new product I'm trying. It's called Instant Bond, and the two come packaged together. Lowe's had it, and it's about a third of the price of these two together. And if you buy this full size, it'll cost you about $18, and this one will cost you about $8, so it's $26. And I got them for like, I don't know what it was, $17 or so. So anyway, so that's a good price, and that really holds nice. So far, I really love it. It's really doing a good job. I'm over here working on a 3D model, and this is a car that's been carved out. I put one side of the block there, one side of the block there, and then put the ball nose in there. And it carved these two sides, and I glued them together down the center without cutting anything. And now I'm going to got this in there backwards. Oh, that's so funny. Anyway, let me take it apart and put it back in there the other way. Alright, this tape that I'm using is made by 3M. It's Scotch brand, 3M Scotch. Anyway, Scotch Blue 2093 sharp lines, and it says sharp lines on it, 2023 right in there, 2093. Anyway, that's some great holding power there. Anyway, so we got it on the top and the bottom of these right here, and we're ready to go put some on the table and get that done. All right, the reason I need this is I need it to be able to zero out right there on that corner, and on the very corner, that gives me the size that I need. And sometimes when I'm blocking this, it didn't give me a good zero. The more I think about it, I probably could have went off the center of this right here, off the very corner of this, and did all right. But for some reason, whenever I'm gluing this down, it wasn't straight with the gantry. So I put these blocks in here to glue this down so it would be straight with the gantry, because I couldn't see it right. So anyway, those blocks are glued on straight with the gantry. They're also the same size as this block wood, as because I've done a trial fit. I'm going to glue this block on, and then I'm going to put the other, glue that block on first, and then put this in, and then put the last one in. What's funny about this is I'm just learning double-sided tape, but after you stick it on there, it's stuck. I mean, unless you got a place for it to go, it's pretty much stuck. So I was putting it in, trying to get it in between the pieces, and I missed my corner over here. So anyway, I'm going to re-zero off of this corner here anyway, which will be that corner on the car. Anyway, this should allow me to put the card in there. I probably don't even need this other piece over on this side here, but I'm going to go ahead and glue the car in now and get this done. All right, that's glued in. Those are all glued in, alignment deals. The reason I did this because I want to be able to take this off so I can get back and cut this again if I mess this up. And right now I have the front of the car going this way, which is the way it's supposed to go. And I'll basically zero my bit right here, and that's all figured in. I should cut. So let's get that done. All right, she's lined up, ready to go. We'll see how this goes. I may have to make 4 or 5 more of these. I don't know how many hours I got in there. Probably 60 hours invested in this process. All right, she just quit running after 28 minutes and 32 seconds. And it looks like I lost my guide on the outside, but again, that's all done by just adjustable blocks. So let me get that figured out. This right here, so because when the car first gets molded, you still have a little bit left on the corners. Anyway, so I was able to use those little squares of wood to get my Z corner and get my X, Y, and Z labeled up. And then, of course, your car is tilted to the front, to the right, and then it mills the car out. So then this mills this last. So you've got three operations that's going around and going into that part. And